Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to VGU Talks, and let's talk games with me, Don the Expert of Calls from VideoGamesUncovered.com. Now, in my previous video, you may have seen my thoughts on Sony's press conference at Gamescom, but don't worry, Microsoft fans, I'm here for you now as we go over the Microsoft press conference for the Xbox One, Xbox 360, and all things X to the box. Let's have a look, shall we? Now, these are my best moments from the conference and the best announcements or the best things went on, so if I'm not talking about any specific things, then they're just things that I personally was not interested in, but you may have been, and if you were interested in it, why don't you let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's get started, shall we? First off, we kick off with Halo, and damn, I am not hyped. I am not hyped for Halo. No. I'm sorry, I'm just Halo'd out. I've played every Halo. I love the Halo series, don't get me wrong. I'm just not hyped for Halo anymore. I just don't. I've lost it. I've lost my inner Halo hype. It's gone. So I'm sorry, Halo. You kicked off the show, and for me, you just didn't do it. I'm sorry. It's just me. But after Halo, it was Ubisoft's turn, and on the 28th of October, we'll be getting our hands on Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm already looking forward to Assassin's Creed Unity a ton. I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan, and Unity looks really good with some brand new co-op involvement happening in there. The trailer looked pretty darn awesome with a badass tune behind it and showing off the new parkour mechanics that were going on. The parkour looks beautiful now, by the way. It looks really, really good. The other thing that I found interesting about the trailer, at the end it looks like there was an Assassin's High Council, like something out of freaking Star Wars with the Jedi Council. It looked really badass and ominous, and I'm interested as to whether that's going to play a big part in the story. But Assassin's Creed Unity, you better not let me down. You're one of my hypest games of October, straight up. And then we had the man himself, the legend, Phil Spencer. I love you, Phil. But there's just one thing about Phil I love even more. He loves putting his hand in that pocket, doesn't he? That pocket of his, he's just loving it. He's loving it so much, he's got his hand in his pocket. Great to see Phil Spencer. He comes out and we start talking about FIFA 15 as we bring in some brand new guys. And we're talking about FIFA 15 Ultimate Team exclusives, featuring the legends. Over 50 legends, to be exact, from footballing history. And it does look pretty insane. I may not be the biggest FIFA fan out there, I may not be the biggest FIFA player out there by all stretch of the means. I'm not KSI or anyone like that. But the game looks pretty darn sick. And the great thing is, you're going to get all these exclusive legends. They look really badass, and you're also getting an exclusive bundle here in Europe by the looks of things. It's a European exclusive where you can get the Xbox One console with a copy of FIFA 15. So if you are looking for an Xbox One and you want that FIFA, there is a bundle coming your way, so you may just have the perfect excuse to get one. Now, the other thing that was quite awesome about this was that David Rutter came out with Peter Schmeichel, the Man United and Denmark legend who's in the game. He is a legendary goalkeeper. I've seen some of his matches and the saves he is able to pull off. Oh my, they're insane. If you've never seen him play at all, go onto YouTube and just search him up. It is nuts, some of the saves he has pulled out through the years. But it was fantastic banter between those two, picking out their favourite squads, or their squad that they would have for the Ultimate Team, including a remark about Peter Schmeichel's son, who's now playing football as well as being a goalkeeper, ironically. It was really good banter, I really liked it. And you know what? It's actually getting me hyped for FIFA 15, so well done. You've got me interested. After that, we were greeted by Chris Charla from Idea Xbox. Now, Idea Xbox are the guys behind the indie development program for the Xbox One, and it's really great to see that they're putting more emphasis on indie titles, because most of the titles I did talk about in the Sony conference were actually indies, and I'm a huge fan of indies. I want to hype them up as much as I do AAAs. So, what indies do we have? Well, we had a showcase showing off a lot of different indie titles, but a few in particular grabbed my attention. Smite, Speedrunners, and Goat Simulator. Goat Simulator, it's hilarious, and I think everyone's played it by now. That's coming to Xbox One. great, really cool. Speedrunners, if you have never seen speedrunners before, it looks insane as a game to play with your friends. It is really fun as well. I've gotten my hands behind it. It is really, really nice. And the third one that puzzled me was Smite. But I'll get onto Smite in just a second, because we do get a closer glimpse of that one. Now, it's also key to note that these are coming first on Xbox One, so we could be seeing a PS4 release in the near future. Interesting. So the first indie game they really showcase here is Space Engineers. Space Engineers looks really freaking sick. I haven't had the chance to actually play the game in any form yet, and Space Engineers does look really, really fun. I want to play it. It looks cool. Simple as. And then we had a very interesting indie game which already has my attention, and this whole emphasis on time moves when you move. And the game's title is called Super Hot. It looks incredibly interesting, especially since time moves when you move. There were situations in this trailer where you were in gunfights with these guys at the end of a corridor, but if you stop moving, their gunfire just stops in mid-flight, so it turns into this Matrix situation. So then that gives you time to fire your gun, or move out of the way, or shuffle incredibly slowly, because if you start moving normally, those bullets are going to be flying normally, and you're probably going to get killed faster. But if you move slower, you may just be able to dodge all the bullets and just sway past them, maybe even push them out of the way like you're Neo out of the Matrix. It looks pretty badass. I'm looking forward to see how that plays out. And one of my favourite developers of all time, Team 17, the legends behind the Worms series, comes out with their new title, known as The Escapists. Now, The Escapists looks really frigging cool. Under the grounds that it's kind of like Prison Architect, and if you know what Prison Architect is, it's a game that allows you to basically create your own prisons. But in this case, the prison looks already pre-done, pre-made, and you're just an inmate. And this is the whole trick around it. You play as an inmate, you go about your daily business in the prison, yada yada yada. But then, the whole point around it is obviously to escape the prison. So you can escape through many different methods. Putting together a makeshift shovel and digging tunnels from your cell to the outside world, which looks really cool. Other things such as being able to cause a riot inside the prison itself, where you're able to beat up on cops and find your way out of a prison by force. There just seems like so many different ways to get out. But it also incorporates some RPG elements that has things to do with like training yourself in the gym areas of the prison, or getting to know certain inmates and befriending them in some way. The game looks really cool. I want to play it. Team 17, great. Now, I said about this earlier, and I'm going to go a bit more in depth. Smite on the Xbox One. I will say this now for anyone that has doubts about Smite on the Xbox One. Smite is going to play perfectly on the Xbox One, and that is a fantastic deal done by Microsoft. And the reason why I'm saying this, Smite is really good on PC, super good. So good to an extent that I can see it being played with a controller on a new gen console. If the Xbox One is the first console or the exclusive console to get Smite, good on them. Just good on them. Smite is a great game. The esports element in it is huge. Huge potential for some more esports action. And if you're going to get the Xbox One players involved, it's just going to get more players in the game. Smite, legendary, and it's going to do super well. You mark my words. Now, the next indie game that actually came out was a game done by Cappy, and these guys have made this really interesting game with this beautiful isometric view where the worlds just look huge. The areas that you go in are very huge and expansive, and the game is just simply called Below. It looks friggin' beautiful, I'll say that straight up. The gameplay looks in depth as well. There's a bit of combat in there, a bit of exploration, a little bit of platforming, puzzling. It looks really, really cool. I want to see more. I want to see more. And then we had the one thing I was a little bit 50-50 on, but you know what? I was happy to see it. I was pretty hyped by it, actually. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, or as I like to call it, Call of Spacey! Yes! I love you, Kevin Spacey. You're great. Love it. So they showed off some more of the game, and the game, I'm going to tell you right now, Advanced Warfare is probably going to be the Call of Duty game to get me back in the series. I fell out with the series after Black Ops because I just didn't find any of the other Call of Duties that interesting whatsoever. But this is probably the one that's going to get me back in, and there's tons of reasons why. That's probably a video for another day. But what they did do here, they showed off a brand new map and a brand new level, Collapse, based in San Francisco. I've been to San Fran, and it's a great place. And they showed off the Exo Assault, which is the exoskeleton with boost jumps, sonics, and stims, which looks really interesting as well. It'll be cool to see if that plays out in multiplayer as well, because this was a single player mission. And in this single player mission, you had a car chase to start it all off, with dynamic fighting in the cars, and pile-ups happening, and shots being taken down on different individual cars and vans. That chasing amongst itself looked badass, and then it just seamlessly transitioned from a chase into a battle on the big bridge, which was freaking cool. It showed the grenade modes again, where like the homing grenades, EMP grenades, tracer grenades. Oh, it's such a tiny little mechanic, but I love it. I love it so much. It makes you feel like Judge Dredd, and it makes me think if there's going to be a multiplayer mode featuring Judge Dredd. Sledgehammer, I know you guys love Call of Duty. I'm begging you, if there's a Judge Dredd thing going on here, make it happen. My comic book weeniness would go through the roof if that's the case. But apart from Judge Dredd and fanboying over that, it looks great. The game looks super good. And the great thing is, there's an exclusive bundle for you guys. There's a Call of Duty bundle with the console, a headset as well. And the interesting part is, and I think this is going to be the massive selling point of this console bundle, you're going to get a terabyte hard drive Xbox One. For me, personally, that's actually a pretty friggin' good deal. You get all that stuff in a terabyte worth of an Xbox One. I'm happy. I think that's actually one of the best bundles we've seen so far from any of the new consoles. Well done. Well done. Mega hyped for that. After Call of Duty, we had another game, which is a multi-platform title, but again, Microsoft are going to be hyping it up on their end. It's Evolve. I love the look of Evolve. It's got a beta in January, exclusive to Xbox One people, so if you've got an Xbox One, keep an eye out for that beta at the beginning of next year. You guys should really enjoy it. It's going to be a shame I'm not going to be able to touch it, but I may be able to get my hands on at some kind of event sometime before that, so fingers crossed. Because I really want to play it. It looks super good. And on February 10th, it's the brand new release date because it's been left until beginning of next year, which is only a good thing. They can just work on the game a little bit more, get some more bits worked out, and that's all fine. It's all fine by me. And they showed a match on a brand new map with shoutcasters showcasing the gameplay. I didn't have a problem with this here whatsoever, but it did leave a question mark in my head. Could this possibly mean, because they had shoutcasters on, could we see Evolve possibly go to an esports level? Question mark. Now, it's an idea, and if Evolve did get that high, that would be pretty friggin' cool, seeing actual tournaments where we can see the best aliens, the best hunters, the best trappers, like the best of both worlds clashing with one another on the big screen on Twitch, front paging Twitch with Evolve matches. I'd be game for that. It would be a fantastic tournament. I'd watch the crap out of that. Interesting to see how they would balance it. I like a lot. And if that's a thing, boost it up. So after we had all that happen, we had Phil Harrison come out onto the stage, announcing that the next wad of titles they were going to be talking about, exclusives. So let's get exclusively into these exclusives. Let's go nuts. Starting off with Daryl Gallagher with Rise of Tomb Raider, and okay, if you want my full-on thoughts about Rise of the Tomb Raider being exclusive, I'm sure I'm gonna do a different video on that at some point. But you know what? Okay, you got my attention. Exclusive on Xbox One, whether it's timed or not, I have no idea at this moment in time, as of recording this. Just give me Tomb Raider. I want to play some Tomb Raider. I'm praying it's not fully exclusive. But as I said, that's a video for another day. It's just good to hear more about Tomb Raider, more or less. After not seeing anything new from Tomb Raider, however, we did get Remedy and Microsoft Studios come in to show off Quantum Break. And I've been really looking forward to see what Quantum Break brings to the table, and it looks really cool. Sam Lake came on stage and he showed the time-amped action gameplay on stage, and it's looking really good. I mean, the game looks really good. It looks super good. The combat with shooting your own weapons and cover systems is tied together with time manipulation, allowing you to bend time so that you can move from one position to another, confusing the enemies that you're going against, where you think, huh? Where's he gone? While you shoot at them from behind. Being able to like throw like a ball of paused time, where you can pause where the enemy is, or just pause a general area near an explosive device, for example. Take a few pot shots at it so that the shots don't exactly hit it, and then when that bubble goes away, all the shots react to it and either kill the guy or blow something up. That looks really cool. That looks sick. The only thing I'm worried about with this game at this moment in time, even though it has all those benefits and really good seamless transitions between both cutscenes to gameplay, which looks really good, my only concern, I'm worried about how easy this game is going to be. Because I'm worried that the people that are going to be very good at this game, that are going to be able to abuse the time manipulation system that they have here, are going to be able to complete the game way faster than anyone that just wants to do it at a more casual pace. At least that's what I'm worried about at the moment, but for that being my only worry, the game looks really, really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing more. Well done, Remedy and Microsoft Studios. You guys have got it going on. Nice. After that, we had Fable Legends, and you know what? I'm just not hyped for it. I thought I was somewhat interested at E3. Now I'm just not hyped. I'm just not hyped for Fable Legends at all. Beta coming on the 16th of October though, so that's great for you Xbox One people. You can get on the beta as of 16th of October and go nuts. Go absolutely nuts on it. It just feels like nothing new to me. That's my biggest problem. It just feels like Dungeon Land with Fable. So it just feels like Fable Land. And if you've never played Dungeon Land, well, you see what I mean when I say it feels like Dungeon Land. Okay? I know it's not Dungeon Land. I know it's Fable. I know it's doing its own twist on it. But for me personally, I'm just not that interested. It's a shame because I used to really like the Fable series. But now I'm fabled out. I'm completely fabled out. I'm sorry. It's just me. The next game that grabbed my attention was a game by Frontier. And these guys were showcasing a game which was really interesting. It looked like a futuristic roller coaster tycoon tied with a little bit of an element from the PS3 exclusive Pain. If you've never played Pain, it's really hilarious because you just slingshot people, just have all these random explosions, random events happen, and a ton of hilarity ensues. But this game looks insanely cool. Like being able to create your own theme parks, your own rides, roller coasters, and you see all the people on it screaming and their own facial animations and body animations, then flying off all these roller coasters and rides because of the velocity of them, and the cars coming undone, smashing into buildings, breaking everything around you. It just looks like mindless, selfless fun. And that's fantastic. The game's called Scream Ride. It's coming spring of next year. And you know what? I'm screaming for joy. It looks really, really cool. Well done. Now I have to admit, the next game I'm talking about is probably one of my favourite games that has been revealed on Xbox's side, and it is Ori and the Blind Forest. Thomas Mailer came out, talking about the game for a little bit, showing off some brand new gameplay, and the gameplay just looks stunning. The visuals are beautiful. The gameplay looks very action-packed depending on which levels you're playing in. It's coming holiday 2014. Sweet. Really hyped for that. But. I originally came in with the idea that Ori and the Blind Forest may have just been the title, regardless of what you would think it is, AAA, indie, whatever. That was going to be the one title that was going to win me the Xbox One. But it's also on PC. So it's a Microsoft exclusive, but that's it. If I can get it on PC now, I can just get it on PC. there's nothing making me get it on Xbox One now. I feel like that's a letdown. Of course, if it's a business strategy by them and the company, then go ahead. Go nuts. It's a great idea, and I'm sure the game's going to sell like hotcakes regardless. But because now it's on PC, there's nothing really making me want to get an Xbox One just for that. So, bit of a letdown on that front, but I'm still looking forward to the game. It looks really, really good. And then after that, we had one of my favourite developers, Insomniac Games. Yeah, with Ted Price. Love you, Ted. You're looking great as always. Talking about Sunset Overdrive, brand new trailer, showing off some new things, especially a new character that you also get to interact with in the world. If you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. It looks pretty freaking great. It's coming out October 31st, and the great thing that you're getting with this is another Xbox One bundle, but this time with the white Xbox One. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of me thinking, okay, white Xbox One, no problem. No problem whatsoever, go nuts, it looks beautiful. But a white Xbox One coming with Sunset Overdrive, I was a bit 50-50. Because wouldn't it make more sense if you had a limited edition Xbox One where it just had Sunset Overdrive decals on it, like orange bubbles on the side or something to go with the game? At least in my opinion, I think that would be a better idea for a bundle, but regardless, those who want a white Xbox One instead of a black, and you want to get Sunset Overdrive when it comes with it, go nuts. It's a great bundle. Go nuts. And that's exactly what the game makes you do. It makes you go nuts. And I'm going nuts for it. And then, after that, the next thing that got my attention was Halo. I said at the beginning of the video I wasn't hyped for Halo, and this bit when they were talking about Halo basically solidified. Yep, not bothered about Halo whatsoever. Sorry Xbox fans, I'm Haloed out. I'm just Haloed out. But you know what did grab my attention? The Halo channel. And they were talking about how the Halo channel is this brand new thing, and there's just a part of me thinking, does no one remember Halo Waypoint? Because Waypoint was cool. Waypoint was a great app to have on your Xbox 360. And I was hoping something like that would come to the Xbox One for Halo 5, and especially the Master Chief Collection. Which it is, which is fantastic. And this looks like Waypoint 2.0. It looks really good. Everything's going to be combined with it. So the TV series is going to be with it. You're going to have backstage things. But looks things you're going to get in-game rewards for watching all these things, or doing things in-game will also unlock some extra things on the Halo channel for you. It looks like a really badass thing that coalesces with one another. The other thing is it's also able to be used on apparently your PC and your tablets, so you're able to check on your stats away from your console. That is great. I'm still not hyped for Halo personally, but if you're going to have that as a companion for Halo games, it looks super good. Well done, 343 Industries. Well done. And the other interesting thing is that they had a match on the brand new remade level of Halo 2, the Sanctuary, being played out by the best Halo players they could get their hands on. And it made me think, could Halo be heading towards esports as well? I think Halo at esports would do quite well. Whether they decide to do Halo 2 or any of the other Halos, or they just specifically work on Halo 5 for esport content, it's completely up to them because they can do it on anything. But if Halo goes esport, I'm game for it. I'm a huge fan of esports, so go nuts. Halo can go that far, but I'm just not hyped for playing it. I'm sorry, I'm hyped for everything around it, just not hyped to get my hand on it. Sorry Halo, not for me. Not anymore of it is. And last but not least, Phil Spencer comes out and ends the show letting people know about another thing that's going to come to the Xbox One via updates, being able to pre-order and pre-download your titles straight to the console. Fantastic. I know a lot of people on the Xbox side have been looking forward to that, and you know what? It's fantastic to see. So well done, Phil. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, those are my best bits from Microsoft's press conference. Some good, some bad, but that's my opinion. I know I haven't talked about everything because there's some Forza bits that I just wasn't interested in whatsoever. So I'm interested. What were you interested in from Microsoft Conference? What were you enthralled by, or were you just not that interested about some of the bits? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll be seeing you on another edition of VGU Talks. But before we go, I've got one last question. Phil Spencer, I love you, but what is in your pocket? What is inside of your pocket? If it's Half-Life 3, I want to know. Half-Life 3 confirmed? Phil Spencer's pocket? I want to know, Phil. Call me.